Okay, so today is day 3, morning of. I have not headed down yet to get on the shuttle. Sorry, I'm super distracted by these cute dogs. Look at those cute dogs down there. Um, anyway, yeah, just documenting that I woke up definitely not feeling like I did yesterday. I think a big part of that, and the reason I'm making this entry right now, is because I had a lot of real estate work to do last night. I ended up needing to edit video content that I'd filmed. I filmed some walkthrough videos for a colleague in my firm, and I owed him those, and I didn't have to have it done until Friday, but I just decided I'm just gonna knock this out now last night. Oh, so I ended up having to edit video for like 3 hours and 110 photos. Luckily, I didn't have to edit each photo, but I had to sift through like probably 150 photos and knock it down to that amount. So it was a lot. I will say that I felt really good while doing it. Like, I was just like, I can't believe after the day I've had and the crazy headache that I feel good enough to sit here. So the lesson I learned there is obviously don't do that. When you come here, have a clean slate. Don't have work stuff if you can avoid it. I know financially, obviously, that's a burden. Same for me. Like, I need to make money, need to do the job, but as much as possible, try to get everything off your plate. Don't be like, oh, I'll casually work in the evenings just because you're used to working. Anything you can push off your plate, I would totally do that. So I really don't know if I woke up feeling rough today. Like, I woke up with my eyes hurting, which is like the typical, and that was just from like the tiny bit of sunlight coming in through the curtains, and it was just diffuse light, not even direct. And then when I got up and turned on like the vanity light in their bathroom, like I was just like, oh, let's turn that off. So yeah, so try to not have stuff planned. But then also just yesterday was just so up and down. I think that's also why I feel weird today and tired. I definitely feel like that snow globe analogy they gave me is very accurate. Like realistically, I should not have had the energy I even had last night. And I just want to talk about that very briefly. I had an insane amount of energy. Like, I was so clear-headed. Like, I actually had fun editing the videos. I had fun sifting through the photos. And then I had to put together my day 2 video from the footage I had shot, the different pieces that I shot yesterday while at the clinic. Ooh, sorry, that light out there is getting to me. So so the point is that even though I'm paying a price today, I felt really, really good yesterday. And the one takeaway, besides don't schedule stuff for the evenings if possible, is that it's very rare since my accident that I have actually wanted to turn on music and been like felt good enough to dance to the music. And so last night, I mean, I've chosen music before and I've been like, oh, I want to listen to something. What should it be? Is my brain ready for like lyrics, drums, all that stuff? Like, sometimes I like have music playing in the background while I've been working on different things. But generally, I haven't been a huge fan of music since the accident. And that has been something that's really been missing. But last night, I really wanted to listen. What was it? It was back earthquake weather, and I turned it on, and I got up and I started dancing. Or was I in my chair? It felt like I was standing up dancing. I was probably just dancing in my chair, but that was wild. Like, I actually felt like moving my body to music, and that just, again, I found myself doing it spontaneously, and then I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I don't do this anymore. So yeah, just lots of things going on. So anyway, and I am going to try to do a lot less entry today, or I'm going to try to do way less or shorter entries, just because I'm I don't want to give myself too much video content to do tonight. And again, no one's like making me put together these huge YouTube videos. As part of my ambassadorship thing, they're not expecting me to be putting out these 10-minute videos. I'm just putting them out because I feel like it's important to track the whole thing. And also, I just think like a documentary filmmaker, since that's what I've done for 10 years. And it kind of like helps me. It's just become a part of my process and how I think about life. So anyway, all right, that's it for today. I got to run down and grab some oatmeal before the shuttle. I didn't expect to do another update so quickly. This is just like 20 minutes later. I'm down waiting for the shuttle. Just ate breakfast here at the hotel. And yeah, just making an observation that it's really interesting. So one of the things they explained to me on day one is that, and it was really helpful, is they talked about this idea called the sawtooth. And basically that symptoms have been like a sawtooth, like on a sawtooth blade saw. So like just lots, high, low, or like reactivity, calmness, or you could also think of it as your brain is in fight or flight status, and then rest is stuck in rest and digest. And I definitely could identify with that, because they were kind of explaining it like, hey, so there's this whole thing that we call the sawtooth, and I was just like, oh, yes, that explains my experience exactly. Like I remember I would go to the syntonic light therapy clinic when I was stuck in rest digest mode, and it was extremely difficult to get motivated, to get my body to want to do anything. And I would go and they would show me a certain color light, and it would wake me up and kick me more into fight or flight. And then I might kind of get stuck there for a bit. So hopefully we would find that happy balance when things get evened out. But what's interesting that I find right now is it's almost like, since I started doing the treatments here already, it feels like as of yesterday I'm like in a short form sawtooth. Like I'll be like highly reactive for like 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and then suddenly I'll feel like completely normal again. Not necessarily rest or digest, but just normal. So right now my symptoms, switching on, switching off, that's what they're doing. They're just like doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. And it's really interesting, and I've not experienced this before. So, and also I'm just noticing like every little thing that keeps coming back online. Like I mentioned dancing earlier, or the fact that I could even edit video for 4 hours straight. Like sure, I shouldn't have been doing it, but like I can't tell you how stressful it was to even think about editing a lot of content ever since my accident. So, so I was just sitting in the waiting room, not the waiting room, I was sitting in the eating area over there, and the speakers are playing pretty loud music. And since my concussion, I hate background music. It just feels tinny, and it's like it's just hard for me to focus. And yeah, so like mostly I've just liked silence or conversation. But what was wild is I was sitting there eating my breakfast, and I'm just like enjoying the music. And again, I was just like, oh, wait, what am I doing? I'm enjoying this music. So it's just fascinating to me to like, it feels like whatever is I've been doing already there, even just for 2 days. And I have no idea if it works this way for other people, but just for me, it is definitely like shaking up things and like turning new things on that have been turned off. And I'm able to enjoy things that honestly I had just written off. I'm like, never gonna enjoy sitting inside and hearing music in an enclosed space again, like in a restaurant or a diner or something like that. So yeah, it's strange, and I gotta admit it is a bit disorienting because, when you have, let's call it an illness or a situation, when you have to survive it long term, you orient yourself to it. The whole way you move through your day is oriented around that. So it's really interesting to like have that habitual orientation possibly not matter anymore. Okay, so my day is done. I am back at the hotel. I am eager to get this video thing done so I can have a clean slate and, for the first time since I've been here, actually relax in the evening. That would be amazing. So I'm going to keep this brief. First of all, take a look at this picture. Okay, that's a pretty cool picture. I just wanted you to see what the view is like out of basically the parking lot of the Residence Inn here in Provo, where if you decide to ever come here, that's the view. And also, like the big bunch of mountains up there, that's where Rock Canyon Trailhead is. And the place is stunning. It's like geology heaven. Okay, and then let's see, what do I got up next? Okay, and then here is another short video to show you. I'm going to drop in this clip. Okay, that has nothing to do with anything. It's just, I saw this sitting on a shelf, and it's a bunch of stacked like lights that have battery packs in them, and I just thought it looked really cool, and so I put it in the video. Okay, here is the next thing. Okay, this is fun. This is me sitting in a nitrogen, wait, is it? No, it's not nitrogen, good Lord. It is a carbon dioxide suit. So they put you in this huge suit, they evacuate all the air. I don't know, maybe it does involve nitrogen. I was pretty out of it, to be honest, when I was there, but I know they put carbon dioxide in it. Carbon dioxide is absorbed through your pores. There's some crazy sciencey stuff going on that went right over my head, but it's supposed to be good for you. I felt all tingly and I mostly fell asleep, but it was really cool. Also, the whole time you're there, you're just thinking about the Oompa Loompas and Willy Wonka. And then here is another clip of me doing this. W, Q, M, M, N, N, M, W, Q, M, W, E, M, N, N, Q, M, W, Q, E. I just did the thing. C, D, C, C, M, M, C, C, D, C. Shoot. So you get a lot of tests like this where you are, so basically what I'm doing is there's a chart on the wall that has letters in it, a letter grid. And then I'm looking at this piece of paper that has a letter grid on it. And so let's say it has like 10 letters across the top, and then there's 10 letters across the top of this thing that's like maybe 3 feet away from me. And so what I have to do is, going left to right, I have to read the first letter in the top upper left corner, and then I have to read the letter in the upper left corner there. So it's like this letter, and then I move over one, that letter, and I have to keep track. It's very hard to do when you've had a concussion, probably hard to do even if you haven't had a concussion. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is this photo. And so this brings me to closing out day 3. And the reason I closed on that photo is because that was before my last appointment of the day. And, or was it? Okay, it might not have been. No, who knows? All I know is it was late in the day. And I took a picture of this moment, and I'm going to put it back up again for you. So just look at this picture. You got my sunglasses are on top of my hat instead of on my face. And I'm sitting in this room. This is the upper level of the building because CogFX has offices downstairs and offices upstairs. So I'm sitting in this room that I would never walk into without sunglasses or my blue light blocker glasses. And like the first, so this is a celebration picture. I wanted to capture the moment. And also what was really cool is right after I took this photo, Dr. Alina Fong came up the steps and was looking for me and wanted to hang out and chat, which is really cool because I wanted to chat to her too. She's a really cool person. She's the person that like helped her and one other person, Dr. Mark Allen, are the people that like created all of Cognitive FX. So it was super cool to hang out with her for a bit. But anyway, the point is that like she came up and she's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, let me show you this picture I just took. I am sitting in this super bright lit room and I'm not wearing sunglasses and my eyes don't hurt. And it's amazing. And so it was just, so basically the short version is I was doing things today that I have sat down and thought to myself before, will I ever be able to do these things again? And mostly I was sort of gearing myself up for just being like, maybe I'll just be a guy that can never be in a room with fluorescent lighting without pain for the rest of my life. And now my brain, just from 2.5 days of activities there, is already experiencing so much relief that I could sit in this room I was in that room for like 10 full minutes, maybe even 15. More like 10, to be specific. And it was so freeing. Like, it was crazy. And then I was able to do a lot of the next activity without wearing my sunglasses as well. And I calculated that today I probably didn't wear my sunglasses for at least 20%. And every room there is fairly brightly lit, which is my one peeve about the place, is it's way too brightly lit. But of course they don't mind if you wear sunglasses. They don't mind if you wear headphones. Like, you can do whatever you need to knock down the signal input. But anyway, that's where I wanted to close with today, is just like, I mean, maybe you can tell the difference between how I was when I started this video early in the morning to how I am now. I mean, yeah, I'm a little tired, but I mean, in the middle of the day, before I took that photo, I was a mess. Like, I felt so worked over. Beat up was the word I used, because every time you go to an appointment, these super amazing, professional, caring people ask you, tell me how you're feeling. How are you doing? And so you really get in the habit of of reporting all the time of how you're doing. And so, yeah, I was just telling people, I'm just like, I feel beat up. Like, I feel like I'm just very much on the edge of tipping into like a really serious headache with nausea. I could lay down on this floor and fall asleep in 1 minute. Like, that's where I'm at. And like, I was just doing this thing, just like I said in the video earlier this morning. I was just like sawtoothing up and down really fast. And then I forget exactly what it was, the activity that I did that sort of like broke something loose, and then I wasn't wearing my sunglasses. But anyway, it was amazing. And I'm going to keep this short, and I'm just going to end it there.